This is Larry Jordan, and welcome to this power-up tutorial on animating your text using LiveType. Well, before I show you how, let me show you what. This is what we're going to create. Now, this may not be the most incredible graphic design you've ever seen in your life, but there are a lot of different techniques going on in here, and I want to show you how they work so you can create your own text animation that works for your projects. We'll start by going up to File and create a new LiveType project. The first thing that we need to do is to tell LiveType what video format we're going to be working in. So we go to Edit, Project Properties. The Project Properties specifies what video format we're working with. By default, it works with standard definition broadcast. If we're working, for instance, with NTSC 4:3, we would select NTSC DV32 or any of these other HD formats. Remember, the actual project is going to render inside Final Cut, so we don't need to render it inside LiveType. You see this heavy gray line down here. Everything below the heavy gray line is considered background. If you want to include the background in your project, be sure that Render Background is checked. In this case, I do want to have a background, and I do want to have it included in a project. So I set my video format to NTSC DV32, and I turn on Render Background. I click OK. The very first thing we'll do is to select a background. Backgrounds are over here in the Media Browser in the Textures tab. There's several categories that I like. I like Canvas, I like Liquids, and I like Medleys. In this particular case, I'll go to a Canvas, which is just a style of video. The nice thing is that all these videos are always full screen, 100% opaque, and fully loopable. So as I move through them and see a brief preview of what the video looks like, I can select the color scheme that I like. In this case, I'm going to work with a color scheme called Bristol. I apply to New Track, and it shows up at the bottom here. Now, this in and of itself doesn't look bad, but LiveType always exports from the in to the out. Consequently, there's my in at the very beginning, but here's my out 6 seconds in, and notice I've got about a 2-second gap here. In that gap, my background disappears. If I grab the background and stretch it to the right, all that does is slow the movie down. I don't want to slow the animation down, I just want it to repeat. To do that, make sure the clip is selected, go up to the timing menu, select Loop, and now notice that it's looped. Remember, it's 100% loopable, and it goes past the out, which means my background now lasts long enough. I'll click the first text track, go to the Text tab, and let's create the word animation. And in the word animation, we'll put our playhead in a clip. Because I have not yet applied an effect to this track, I can drag it to any length I want without changing any settings. Now, this text isn't bad, but it isn't that interesting, so select the clip, go to the Fonts menu, and let's scroll down until we find a font that's a bit more substantial for video, and we'll select Bauhaus, Bauhaus 93, and click Apply, which changes the font. Let's stretch the size until it reaches just edge to edge inside Title Safe, or you could just type in the size you want here. I'm going to click on the blue baseline and drag the word down while holding the Shift key, which constrains movement to a vertical direction, until it's just below the center line. Now let's apply a color to it. Color is in the Attributes tab. Click the color chip, and we'll pick something that contrasts nicely with our background, kind of a darkish gold here. Close that. Okay, there's our first word. Let's apply an effect. Now, effects could be the live fonts, but I hate almost all of these. I like the effects, however, and again, just as we have categories of textures, we have categories of effects. The category that I want is motion path, and something that makes a statement is rush hour. You can look at these other ones and see which ones appeal to you. We'll just apply this, and notice that it's added the effect at the very beginning of the clip. If we were to play this, the word animation rushes in like it's sort of all stacked up traffic during rush hour. Well, let's go up to the track menu, add a new text track, select it, and this time we'll click in the text entry box up here, and we'll type "is easy." We'll grab this and drag it so it sets right on Title Safe, again holding the Shift key down to constrain movement. Select our text, go to the Fonts tab, and let's give this a font. Oh, I like this one. This is something chunky. It's called Cooper Black, and we'll apply this. And we'll make it bigger by going to the Text tab and dragging the size up, right about there. Now, I could leave the letters pure white, but it's kind of boring. Instead, let's take advantage of a single button feature inside LiveType and apply a texture. In this case, let's find something, in a wildly different color. Let's look for batik. Notice the orange here will apply to matte. What it did is it just put that batik inside that video, inside is easy, which means that I now have moving video one button away from being keyed into any of my text. Let's make this just a little bit smaller, so 135 here separates it from the word animation. And if we go to the Attributes tab, click Matte, make sure that under Attributes Matte Loop, this will loop the video over and over inside the characters, so regardless of how long the text lasts, it will have the video play the entire time. I'm going to set the beginning of the video to start right as the animation is over. Drag this out here, and let's apply an effect. Again, go to the Effects tab, and we'll go to the category. Let's go to the category called Zooms. There's hundreds to choose from. We'll zoom behind camera and apply. Now when we watch this for preview, we've got our word animation flying in and our text flying down. Now we could change this. The stacking order determines foreground and background. I'm going to grab the text for animation, drag it up. See that heavy black line there? That means the word animation is going to be in front of foreground of is easy. Let's add another track, a new text track. Click in it, click on this, and we'll say creating text. Highlight it. Let's apply a font. Cooper Black comes instantly to mind. Click Apply. Make it a little bit smaller. We'll go to the Text tab here, and we'll set it to 72 points. Now, here's another cool thing. Watch closely. I hold the Control key down, Control-click on this blue dot, and say Curve In. And if you're really good, you'll see this blue dot here. I'm going to drag this up right about there. Control-click on this and say Curve Out. Grab this blue dot and drag it straight up right about there. And what I've just done by adjusting these Bezier control points is I've created nice curved text for my top title. I'll grab the blue baseline, drag it down so it's right there, and now I've got the word creating text. This one I'll leave white because I've already shown you how we can add a color through the Attributes Color chip, and I've shown you how we can apply video through the Textures Apply Matte. But what I want to do is have an effect, and here's a cool effect. I like this. I discovered it recently, and I like it a great deal. We're going to drag this out so it runs the entire length of our 6 seconds here. Go to Effects, go to Fantasy, and say Expand, and click Apply. Now when we play this, watch what happens. The animation rushes in, the is easy comes down, and the text explodes on the top. Except it'd be nice if I did the is easy. Let's grab creating text and drag it. Notice that as I drag the text, the effect comes with it. And I want to have the is easy start a little bit later. Now the animation comes in, then creating text explodes, then the is easy flies down. We just have one more thing to do, and that's to fill in this hole right here. So let's create a new text track, highlight it, and inside the text entry box, type Option 8. This creates a bullet symbol. Drag across it to select it, and grab this blue rectangle right there. It's in the top right corner. You can see it where my mouse is. We'll grab this and drag it up, put it right on the center line, make it a little bit bigger, and whoa, too big, right around in there. And we're going to drag this out so that it runs the full length, and we'll drag creating text out so it doesn't go black at the end. Got to wait for that little rectangular symbol to show up. Highlight this clip, drag it so it starts right about there. And now let's add one more effect. We'll go to the Attributes, go to Matte, and this time Attributes Matte allows me from the pop-up menu to apply a movie. Well, on my second drive, I've got a clip called Downhill in Yellow, and by clicking on Open, that quickly it applies a piece of video inside here. We'll add one more effect. We'll call it a fade, and we'll do horizontal blur. And now we have the entire effect. Our batik background animation flies in, our text explodes, our is easy flies down behind the camera, and this horizontal blur is our snowboarder coming in. All we need to do now is just put this behind everything else. So we'll twirl up this triangle to hide the effect, and grab our bullet here, drag it down, so now it's behind creating text. Notice it's behind the animation. And click here. Cool. Very simple. We can adjust by where these clips start, where our effects start. It becomes very, very easy to create very interesting animated text that we can then add into our Final Cut project, all using LiveType. My name is Larry Jordan, and thanks for watching this Power Up tutorial.